Alright, so I see that I am live and I'm about to go record for Audacity as well for, yes, another episode of the In the Hot Seat podcast. And for today's episode, I will be actually looking to review Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill as of last night, the first Impact Wrestling pay-per-view of the year. A lot has went down for the pay-per-view as of last night, and as well looking basically do another upload later on today, and I will actually be doing my very first actual wrestler interview for the very first time. So very excited about that. So be sure to check back later on today for the In the Hot Seat podcast official not only YouTube channel but also as well on Anchor and Spotify or wherever else you can listen to your podcast as well. So very excited about that. So a lot for today for the In the Hot Seat podcast. Right now is for the Hard to Kill pay-per-view review, giving my thoughts and opinions about that and what happened, and getting everything into what went down, where we had two matches on the actual kickoff, where we had Jake Something and Madman Fulton going at it, and a strong showing by Jake Something being able to somehow be able to defeat Madman Fulton, so that was really cool. The next one we had a four corners match where we had Speedball Mike Bailey in a debuting match against Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Laredo Kid to see who will be able to go at it in the X Division matchup, definitely. And it was a really cool, fast paced matchup, especially for Speedball. He was able to be very impressive for me. I really liked what I did get to see out of him, and he was able to win his debut match, so that was really cool. Looking forward to see what else he's able to do. And then we get into the main card. We started things off strong with the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match, and it was crazy to see who we did get to see in this match. It really could have went either or. My main pick was Rosemary to actually win this. She wasn't alone, obviously, when we had Tasha Steelz, Chelsea Green, Jordan Grace, Lady Frost, and Alicia Edwards in this one, being able to go at it and to see who would be able to move on in this. And we saw some crazy spots, basically from everyone. We saw interference by Savannah Evans trying to help out Tasha Steelz the best she could on this one. And that dive from Lady Frost, which was really awesome, definitely impressive, and really been looking forward to see what else she's going to be doing. She's been holding her own so far, and she hasn't had that many matches on Impact, especially for Hard to Kill, being able to, I believe, be one of her standout pay-per-views matches, definitely for sure. So that was really impressive with that crazy dive when she actually climbed like um, the railing and stuff to be able to make that dive from the top and everything. That was really crazy. Definitely for sure. A lot of stuff too by everyone else. Chelsea Green having the battle too with Tasha Steelz to see who would get the X and everything. And at the time, Tasha Steelz was able to actually get it and uh, help herself out and be able to win there. So the very first Ultimate X match winner we were able to have for the knockouts is Tasha Steelz. So that's really cool, and I'm sure we'll be able to see a lot more for her, being able to be most likely going after the Knockouts title. I can definitely see that for sure. And who we'll see later on. And then we get into Trey Miguel and Steve Macklin for the X Division Championship. And it almost looked like I thought I saw the rest of MSK with him. It was just really quickly, briefly through the edges, so I was about to lose my mind on that. Since we do have the open door, that's why for WWE and Impact Wrestling to be able to work together, and we saw that on Friday Night Smackdown to be able to be announced, especially with the Royal Rumble, Charlotte Flair actually announcing some people in that, and one of them being Mickey James, which is crazy as all hell to be able to see that, and I am very hyped to be able to uh, know that that is a real thing. You're not dreaming; it's not a dream. It really happened, and we were able to have the Bella Twins come back as of right now as one of the surprise people on that. And Charlotte Flair actually entering the Royal Rumble match herself now. I don't think it's for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but she just wants to be able to go in there and I guess basically prove herself. We got Summer Rae looking to come back first time in a long time. I miss Summer Rae. Michelle McCool, just to name a few. Just the talent alone. Who else could possibly show in the Royal Rumble match? I know Sasha Banks at this time is basically questionable since she'll actually be sadly out for about 6 to 8 weeks of dealing with the injury. Recently, when I went to WWE Live for Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I know her and Charlotte Flair were able to have a SmackDown Women's Championship match, and at some point the match ended up being I think kind of like quickly in a way, and I'm sure it was supposed to last a lot longer, but then we had the injury after a while, so it does suck. So hopefully Sasha Banks will be able to come back as a side note and have a speedy recovery for sure. So just some of the things that were able to lead up to Hard to Kill to see how things were able to transpire on that. It is really crazy. But getting back to Trey Miguel and as well Steve Macklin on this one, these two definitely going at it and continuing things as well. We did see the Hurricanrana on this one, which is really cool. The crosshairs as well. A lot of crazy stuff between the two, but in the end, we were able to have Trey Miguel actually win and actually keep the X Division Championship, which is a good thing. And then another crazy thing again with the open door, just being able to show itself for Hard to Kill. What we had, that's right, the ROH World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Jonathan Gresham and Chris Sabin and the Pure Rules match. It just keeps on getting well from here for 2022 in pro wrestling. But it's really cool seeing other promotions supporting each other. So maybe there's another working relationship. Maybe ROH will actually show itself for the Royal Rumble as well, since they're basically in a little bit of a break for the time being. So we also had Ian Riccaboni as well for commentary on this one. We also been having Tom Phillips for most of the night in his debut, but these two are going back and forth and having really basically a technical match, basically as I have it on my notes. And I've been liking the Pure Rules definitely for sure as of late. And I wasn't too sure at it at first, but I was able to go on it, and it does make ROH stand out on that, especially for a championship match. But after a while, where you thought Chris Sabin would actually be able to get the world title, Jonathan Gresham was able to actually come back and everything, and it made it challenging for to see who would deal with the rope breaks and everything and how things will transpire. But we did have Jonathan Gresham come back and retain his world title, which is cool and definitely makes sense on that as well. And then we had Josh Alexander and Jonah on this one, and these two really going back and forth eventually, basically getting a little bit bloody at times, and just having to want to see who would be the better person on this one. We started to dive from the top rope from Josh Alexander to Jonah into the fans area and everything, and these two just doing anything and everything that they can to actually prove their worth, and they definitely did that. And Josh Alexander actually was able to make Jonah tap out, which is crazy to see. Josh Alexander really wanted the game back to see if he can get the world title back. I know that's what he's going for, since he uh, felt like he never lost it and everything, because I know Moose was able to actually basically uh, have his opportunity there. So I know he wants to be able to face Moose at some point. And then we get into the hardcore war, I think, then even crazier, where we had Heath, Rhino, Rich Strong, Willie Mack, and Eddie Edwards all taking on the Good Brothers, Violent by Design in the hardcore war here. And we were able to basically have it similar to like the Royal Rumble. Every like 90 seconds, somebody would come in and you would see someone different. And eventually, everyone would come out and actually have the actual match, and the referee would be able to handle things. On that, we did get to see basically a lot of the use of the weapons on this one, plenty of the steel trash can shots where we had the steel chair, definitely Kenny, actually a flaming Kenny, which was crazy. By Eddie Edwards, we literally saw the forbidden door on this literally be used, so that was crazy. Just a lot of crazy, insane spots, and then obviously Heath Slater's team was able to get their win, but it wasn't done yet because we had the rest of Ring of Honor basically coming out the OGK, being able to make their presence known, PCO as well at one point. Maria, of course, being with OGK, we saw Vincent and his group being able to make their presence known and be able to have the attack. So basically, with the invasion, so I'm curious to see what the hell we are actually in store for the Royal Rumble coming up in just a couple of weeks, which is pretty crazy. So that'll be here before you know it. Uh, that is in case if RH gets involved, that remains to be seen. And then the co-main event for the Impact World Championship, Moose and Matt Cardona with W. Morrissey and eventually Chelsea Green making her presence known and being able to have the support for Matt Cardona. She was actually able to have this spill to the outside to Moose and basically have her payback, which is good after Moose attacking her and everything, and being able to see at times Matt Cardona almost getting the world title, same thing with W. Morrissey and everything. We basically see the rough bump basically being the referee being knocked out at one point, but in the end, I really wanted Macedon to get the world title, but Moose was able to come back and be able to defeat Macedon and W. Morrissey. So we'll see if Moose will actually be able to move on to see who he's going to be facing. Obviously, moving on and possibly facing Josh Alexander next, maybe at Rebellion. I can see that, so that remains to be seen. And then we get into the Texas Death Match for the Knockouts Championship and a different type of match uh, with the rules and everything between Mickey James and Deanna Purrazzo. Really cool stuff there between the two, basically going at it basically everywhere. And where we saw the use of the crate being involved here. Being able to see Mickey James use the guitar she actually made to use for the match. Basically, it was kind of like a last man woman standing match, basically between the two, and being able to have the count out and as well as pinfall a couple of times, almost like if basically if you've seen it like in the bowl match, basically, where you had um, them being able to use the turnbuckles at certain points to get like point or whatever, and kind of like in a way of a Puros match. It was a little confusing at times because when they got the pin, I thought the match was over. So the match rules were definitely different for this one if you really didn't fully pay attention to it. So it was definitely something out there, but we did. I get to see more weapons involved. Matt Waywell getting involved, trying to help out Deanna Purrazzo, making sure she's able to get her Knockouts title back. We did see Roxy in the crowd, looking to possibly see who she's going to be facing between Mickey James and Deanna Purrazzo. And we saw the Queen's Gambit through the table. What really made it crazy and actually cringeworthy, we were able to see the thumbtacks being able to get involved and Mickey James going right on them, which was crazy. Didn't really care for that too much, but it did suck. They be able to see Mickey James deal with that, but being able to be a trooper on it and continue the match and actually retain her Knockouts title. So she is looking to go still to the Royal Rumble and be Knockouts champion and most likely win the Royal Rumble. Hopefully she'll be champ and be Knockouts champ and either Raw or SmackDown Women's champion at WrestleMania. So definitely hard to kill. Really enjoyable, and so far one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. We're just getting started, and that was the first Impact Wrestling pay-per-view of the year. The next one will be Rebellion. I'm gonna try and go to that since that is in New York, and I don't want to miss that. And I've been wanting to go to Impact Wrestling for a long time. It's in the arena that I actually graduated high school in, and I saw my first WWE live event in. So a lot to actually look forward to for that. So it's been a long time since I've been in the Mid Hudson Civic Center. So I want to be able to try and go to that for sure. So that was basically it for Hard to Kill in a nutshell. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? And yeah, just basically enjoy each and every match that did happen and everything. Happy Mickey James was able to keep a Knockouts title. Let's see how she would be able to deal with the Royal Rumble and who else would show up, because thinking about other Knockouts and which members of the Knockouts roster could show up at the Royal Rumble, could maybe see an even debut actually happen as well. So just thinking about the talent that could show up will be interesting to see. So a lot is to be in store. So what are your thoughts on that? And having the open door and this working relationship with WWE and Impact Wrestling, what do you think is going to be happening? Definitely leave your thoughts as well. As always, I'll be able to talk about it for the In the Hot Seat podcast official Twitter page and be able to continue the conversation there, as well as on this YouTube video for the comments. And as well as I appreciate you for listening for the audio version of this podcast, as always. And like I said, I do have my special interview with the first time ever interviewing a pro wrestler, hopefully first of many to come. And that's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So looking to have big things happening in 2022 and starting with that as well with this and as well the interview. So a lot to look forward to. And as well for the Royal Rumble, looking to have a special guest with me as well. So again, lots to be happening here for the Hot Seat Podcast. So subscribe on the YouTube channel. Definitely follow on Twitter and everything, and continue to listen. And as well for the audio version and the love and support, which I always appreciate. So until then, I'll catch you guys in the next podcast episode. Whenever the hell the next podcast episode will be. Till then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and the rest of your week. Until then, I'll catch you guys later. See ya and peace.